This is the Fujifilm X-T50, or as I'd like to call it, the baby X-T5. And it's loaded with all sorts of goodies that for me make it a really good camera, but I have one big hang-up that really confuses me. And I have a feeling you know what it is. It's the price. Because in the Philippines, for the body only, the X-T50 is priced at 92,990 pesos. And for a bit of context, the previous model, the X-T32, is priced at 51,990 pesos. So I'm kind of confused who this camera is for. But let me back up a bit. It's a really good camera. Like I said in intro, it's pretty much a baby X-T5, which means you're getting the same 40 megapixel X-Trans 5 HR sensor and the same sensor as the X106 as well. We were able to take this out for a quick tour of Manila, and we were blown away with the image this snapper can produce. All those megapixels really help out in case you feel like cropping in to recompose shots for your feeds, as images still come out plenty sharp. Now this is a JPEG, and true to Fuji fashion, straight out of camera, you can see that there's still a lot of details in this figure. Someone please tell me who this is, because this Tito is clueless. And like I said, all the details are still well preserved despite me zooming in a lot and pixel peeping. You're also getting IBIS that can compensate up to 7 stops on the X-T50, so it did help us out a lot taking low light shots completely handheld. In terms of helping you out in your photography, no doubt the X-T50 is a big bump up compared to the X-T32. All around, a great camera for taking photos, and that's exactly what it is. A photo-first camera, and that's made evident by one key change to their dial layout. The drive dial has been replaced with a dial dedicated for film simulations to give you easier access to get those looks that you want for your photos. Now, I understand why Fuji wanted to make this move, but as a hybrid shooter, it is a bit of an inconvenience, but that is more of a preference thing because there is a dedicated drive button so you can easily switch modes anyway. And if you haven't noticed, you're also getting access to the Rila Ace film simulation on the X-T50, and in case you haven't seen what it looks like, here it is compared to the standard look. Another key indication that this is a photo-first camera is the screen, because that's it. That's as far as it goes. Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe a bit more than 90 degrees, but yeah, that's it. It doesn't flip up. It doesn't flip out to the side. It goes a little over 90 degrees to help you get that low angle shot, at least in landscape orientation, because the moment you go portrait, that means you're pretty much lying down on the ground or shooting a little blind. Now that really doesn't come as a surprise since Fuji does have the XS series for hybrid shooters, but this can shoot videos if you wanted to. In fact, it shoots up to 6.2K 30p. It's just a few button presses and joystick toggles away. So what else is new with the Fujifilm X-T50? Well, it now has a slightly beefier hand grip for better ergonomics while shooting. So for context, my last Fuji camera was an X-E4 which had zero grip, so this is definitely a plus. It's still not quite as comfortable for me because the X-T50 looks super small in my hands, but the grip is very much appreciated. But again, coming from the X-E4 that you really had to buy something extra to get a hand grip, I'll take this as a win. So I pretty much covered the major points on what's new with the X-T50. Now let's talk about what's the same. First up, battery. So if you have a lot of these lying around, the NP126S, good for you because that's exactly what the X-T50 uses. Now I'll be honest, battery life was a bit challenging on this camera since it does have a beefy sensor now. We got around 250 shots before the camera gave us a low battery indication while touring Manila, which is about par for the course, so definitely get a few extra batteries if you take a ton of snaps and you're going to be out the whole day. And just like the screen, the EVF on the X-T50 is also pretty much the same as the X-T32 and the same specs as the one on the X-E4 that I had more experience with. Definitely good enough to help you get your shots if you don't feel like using the screen. The ports are pretty much the same as well, with the micro HDMI, USB-C, and the mic jack that now uses the standard 3.5mm size. Thank God. Now before I forget, Fuji also announced a new kit lens, a 16 to 50mm kit lens that will come with the X-T50. So it's primarily what we use for that little photo walk in Manila and is actually the best kit lens in my opinion. It's at 2.8 at its widest and goes to 4.8 at 50mm, which is a nice little bump up from the 3.5 to 5.6 in the past. It's also an internal zoom lens, meaning the length won't change regardless of focal length, so you can easily just put it back in your bag and not have to fiddle with anything to make sure it fits. And here it is compared to one of my favorite Fuji lenses, the 27mm f2.8 Pancake, a really great lens if you just want a compact everyday shooter, and possibly an alternative to the X106. So, okay, back to the reason why the X-T50 confuses the heck out of me. And it's again really the asking point, because who is it for? Currently, the X-T5 is sitting at 109,990. The X106 is, I believe, 103,990, and I'm just gonna throw in the X-T32, which sits at 51,990. Again, the X-T50 is 92,990 pesos for the body only. So I've been really racking my brain about this, because you could spend an extra 17,000 pesos for the X-T5. Why settle for the baby? You can possibly wait for the stocks of the X106 because it's basically unobtainium as of the moment, or you could save a bit of cash and go for the older model, the X-T32, which still takes great photos. The double-digit Fuji cameras like the X-T30 and the X-T50 are usually aimed at hobbyists, and I guess if money is no object, sana all, and you want all the bells and whistles plus the ease to express yourselves through the film simulations because of the new dial, then I guess this is a great camera for you. But then again, the question pops up, if money is no object, why not get the X-T5, or why not wait for an X106 if you can really hold out? And I really wish I could give you guys a definitive answer, but I'm really confused about this one. Just a reminder though, this is just our first impressions of the X-T50. So hopefully we get a bit more clarity by the time we're ready to roll out the full review. Complete pricing along with the kit lenses will be down below, but that's pretty much it for this one. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm really curious to know what you guys think of the X-T50, so comment down below. My name is Tito James. Peace, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.